Hello, Shalom Aleichem. We have a learning tonight of from Darash Moshe. This is a selection of Rabbi Moshe Feinstein's choice commentaries on the Torah from Parshas Chukas. Let's take a look at it right now. Anyway, there's the Parsha of Chukas, and Chukas is talking about the Para Aduma. The Para Aduma is a red heifer was found, so then it was sold to the Beis HaMikdash, or donated to the Beis HaMikdash, and it was shechted, it was slaughtered and burnt, and then the ashes were mixed with water, and somebody that needed to be purified was purified. It had the property that if one was pure when one touched this mixture, then one became defiled, tamei. And if one and on the opposite side, if one was tamei, one became purified with the para aduma, the ashes of the para aduma. Let's take a look at what Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal says on Parshas Chukas. Zos Chukas HaTorah. This is the decree of the Torah, 19:2. One moment. In the Parsha of Para Aduma, red heifer, the verse begins, "This is the decree of the Torah." This implies that this is the decree of the entire Torah. How can we understand this perplexing statement? In other words, it's talking about, it should say Zos Chukas Para Aduma. This is the chok, the statute of the Para Aduma, the red heifer. Why does it say Zos Chukas HaTorah? This is the statute of the whole Torah. Why does it say the whole Torah, the entire Torah? How can we, in other words, when they say the Torah says Zos Chukas HaPasach, this is the chok of the Korban Pesach, of the Korban Pesach. Why? So over here we're talking about the Para Aduma. Why shouldn't it say Zos Chukas Para Aduma? Why does it say that we're talking about that the Torah is talking about the whole Torah? This implies that this is the decree of the entire Torah. How can we understand this perplexing statement? The explanation is this: man must serve Hashem Yisbarach during all times and periods, and with all the means available to him, including his two inclinations, good and evil. However, one must know how to properly apply each character trait only when it is appropriate. For example, it is impossible to heed the Torah properly with the quality of extravagance if it is always applied. Although an extravagant person will fulfill the mitzvah of charity and kindness, he will come to theft and cheating and similar dissolutions. If he is indifferent to what belongs to him because he is so profligate, certainly he will be indifferent to what belongs to others. And what belongs to others will seem to him to be ownerless. If he doesn't care about money for himself, that means he might do the mitzvos in a very good way to buy the best lulav and esrog and to give tzedakah. But if he doesn't really care about money, he might take from the other person, God forbid, or so. In other words, one has to learn how to do the balance. On the other hand, if he will be very parsimonious and tight-fisted, so that if one penny of his is stolen, he will feel as if his soul was snatched away, he will not transgress theft, because he will view the other's property as sacrosanct. But he will not give charity, because he is so tight-fisted. Even if he gives a little, it will be with a miserly carefulness. So too with the quality of humility. If he fulfills this to its extreme, as did Rabbi Levitas of Yavne, see Avos 4:4. Take a look in Avos. That's chapters of the fathers. Pirkei Avos. That's the fourth parak, the fourth Mishnah. According to the Rambam's understanding, he will be indifferent to the honor of others, and he will shame them in public for every trivial thing, because he had the quality of humility, so he was very, very humble himself, according to the Rambam. But according to the Rambam, it's also he can be indifferent to the honor of others, because he's indifferent to his own honor, he's indifferent to other people's honors too. And he will shame them in public for every trivial thing, despite this being a major transgression. Shaming other people in public is a major transgression. If, on the other hand, he will be possessed by arrogance, he will be arrogant in... If, on the other hand, he will be possessed by arrogance, he will be arrogant in everything and to everyone, and he will be an abomination in the eyes of Hashem, as the verse states. Mishlei 16:5. Mishlei is Proverbs. That's the 16th parak, 16th chapter 5, the 5th pasuk. So Avas Hashem kol givalev. It's an abomination to Hashem, all of the haughty of heart. It's an abomination to Hashem, all the haughty people. This is true. So in other words, one has to know to use their qualities. The quality of anivos, of humbleness, the quality of gavalev. One has to know when to apply it. This is true of each quality of one's personality. Therefore, one must know and experience each characteristic in combination. So one must know and experience in each characteristic in combination extravagance in charity and kindness, and parsimony in avoiding that which belongs to others, and with humility, total indifference to personal insults, but recognition that dignity and honor are very important, which results in the proper honoring of others as required by the Torah. This is what is meant by serving Hashem with both inclinations. And this is the mitzvah of the red heifer, which has contradictory aspects to its mitzvos, in that it brings defilement to those that are pure and purifies those that are defiled. This is indeed a decree that underlies the entire Torah. That's why it says, Zos Chukas HaTorah. With this concept, we're talking about Rav Moshe Feinstein. That's all. With this concept, I have also explained the Gemara's statement, Brachos 64a. Torah scholars increase peace in the world, as it says, great peace to your children, Bonayich. Read not your children, but rather your builders, Bonayich. The Torah scholars. The Bonayich is the Torah scholars, the ones that build the nation, the Torah. Bonayich. Boneh means to build. This homiletical exegesis is stated as if it were an emendation necessary for proper understanding of the verse, but this is difficult. For seemingly there is no indication in the verse that such an emendation should be made. The explanation is that the basis for this exposition is the following verse, which says, establish yourselves in charity and distance yourselves from theft. What is meant is that one follows these qualities to their extremes. The two qualities are opposite and contradictory, as is true with every character trait. So the two qualities are opposite and contradictory, as is true with every character trait. But the Torah and the wise men of the Torah reconcile this contradiction. Concerning one's self, they serve Hashem with one trait, and regarding others, they serve Hashem with an opposite aspect of that trait. In this way, they can be true builders of peace. In other words, one can be humble with regards to oneself, but with regards to one's fellow, with regards to the other people, one has to be not humble. You have to recognize that they deserve respect. And one can be free spending with one in regards to giving tzedakah, with a tzedakah charity, or doing a mitzvah, getting a nice talis, or getting a nice lulav and an esrog. But one doesn't have to spend it on things that are not really that necessary. So in other words, we have to be able to balance things out, balance the way we serve Hashem, the way we serve the service. Man must serve Hashem, Yisbarach, during all times and periods, and with all the means available to him, including his two inclinations, good and evil. However, one has to know how to properly apply each character trait only when it is appropriate. So this is Parshas Chukas. This is Rav Moshe on the Darash Moshe. This is a selection of Rabbi Moshe Feinstein's choice comments on the Torah. And this is by Art Scroll. Masorah, Art Scroll, Judaic Classics. Thank you very much. Kol Tov, Hatzlacha, Rabbi.